Hello.
Hello.
Funny meeting you here.
Welcome to our Zoomcast.
We are so excited
Yeah.
because we love to talk about improv and how it connects to business. Because a lot of people know that improv very much connects to performing and comedy, but it really belongs in the improv conversation, which is what we're doing today.
Yeah. And we love when we hear podcasts and read books and see things where we're like, yes, you're just proving our point more.
That's right. What we find more than anything is that a lot of people can talk about the value of certain things and it all makes sense intellectually. However, the how do you get a person or a team to actually implement and take on those things to the degree that it actually makes change? That's what we do.
We do.
So we found this podcast from our friend Mel Robbins.
One day I'm going to get some black glasses like that, and then we'll
I have
be
mine.
off to the races.
Yeah. So we're a big fan of Mel and the people that she has on and how she talks to them. And she had a gentleman named Steve Magnus. And Sarah, do you want to?
Yes. Yeah, Steve was he was a very high level runner, which both Holly and I are not. But he was like almost did a 4 minute mile when he was in high school, and then he like was up for the Olympics, and then he's trained a lot of Olympians, and he was like a Nike coach and did all of this like really high level stuff. And then he also transitioned it into working with people that were like presenting and giving speeches, trying to pass the bar exam, doing all of these like big, their version of the Olympics for whatever field they were in. He ended up figuring out how to coach them through all of his work being an athlete and working,
Yes.
really focusing on the mindset portion.
Exactly. And we're a big fan of mindsets. Improv is its own mindset, and they overlap quite a bit. So then to go like, oh, I want this kind of mindset that he's talking about. How do I practice it? So that's what we're here to talk about. We picked up on four cool things. When would you need this mindset? Well, it's really to point to what happens when you do something and you fail, or you've got something coming up that's really important and you're starting to freak yourself out, or you just haven't done something in a while that you know you need to do, you're avoiding something really badly. He reports that there is a mental adjustment that you can make. He calls it mental toughness. And he gives it to his athletes to think about because you have to constantly be in a mindset as an athlete to not get trapped up in there and to keep focusing on the goal, but not to the point where you shut down, which is interesting because he was saying a lot of people say, if I just push and try to get this thing done. And, we work with a lot of companies, we work with a lot of individuals that have adopted that mindset. I got this presentation, I just got to grind and do this, and it's like, how's that going for you? Because it usually does not help.
No, we were just talking to a woman from a law firm the other day who works with litigators, and she was like, we just need help now because what everybody has decided to do for their training is they just practice the same bad skills over and over again. And they're just running into a wall because they're not going anywhere. And so like that's the thing that doesn't work. Like how can you get past that point and raise yourself into the next level?
Yes, exactly. So he came up with some, they overlap with ours. So we're going to share with you, if in case you're wondering, these girls seem fun, but what on earth would they do for my company?
It's because they saw my chair spin. I know.
Okay, that's number five. So
Okay.
yeah,
Spin it.
that's right, spinning chair. Number one is what we're trying to override in what we do and what his work is all about is this idea that we are wired to shut down because of things that happen to our body, things that happen chemically. We will avoid the things that make us feel uncomfortable. And that is a lower state, lower energy state for ourselves. What often happens too is that we make the thing that we want enormous and we attach everything to it, including our self-worth. We all know this, we've all done it, we all know people who do it. And so the first hack, the first thing that you can do is lower your expectations. And in improv, we call it lower the bar. In fact, I started an improv school out here in LA called the Low Bar because improvisers can really appreciate and relate to lowering the bar. And I think you and I were talking recently about an exercise that we used to do.
Oh my God, this was one. So when I first started taking improv, Holly was my teacher. And I remember we were getting ready for a show, is when it was. And everybody was freaking out because it was like their first big thing. The audience was coming. And in order to like calm the group down and like really like get us out of our heads, we did a drill. It's you have whoever is doing the thing. It can be sports, it can be improv, it can be whatever you want it to be. But ask the person that's going to perform to do it at a 10. Like, no mistakes, the best you've ever done it, do it right now, go at a 10. And then the person does it at a 10. And then you said, now let's try it at like an 8, 7.58. And then the person does it again at a 7.5 or 8. And then you say, okay, give me like a 5 or a 6. And then the
Yeah,
person does
you
it.
still care, you still
Yeah,
care, but
yeah, you still care, but it's like not the thing. And then you let it trickle all the way down. And I think you even said like, now do it the worst you can do it. And you notice from the outside perspective, and it's not a lie, it's not just trying to make people feel better. When they take out that 10 mentality of having to do it perfect and amazing, everything else that they did was much better. And they
oh,
had more fun doing it.
yeah, and that's what you see exactly. And in the podcast, he talks about a coach that was Carl Lewis's coach, one of the greatest runners of all time. And he said, the secret to Carl Lewis was if you watch him, he's experiencing joy when he's running. Usain Bolt, joy when they're running. If you see, if you watch Amy Poehler and Tina Fey host anything on national television, they look like they're having the best friggin' time versus
Yeah.
the person that comes out that has their speech memorized, that's painful to watch.
And the thing about lowering the bar and lowering those expectations is once you do it and you realize that you're still successful, you're going to want to do it again.
Yeah,
You're
that's
not
right.
gonna, you're gonna want to show up at the presentation again the next time. You're gonna want to take it to the next level. You're gonna want to have that go on that date that you were always afraid to go on. Like it's
Right.
really, it helps you. It builds your
Yeah.
builds your winningness.
Yes. Winningness. I like that.
Yeah,
And it's a great thing to practice. And that's also one of the reasons why what we do is so successful is it gives companies of all sizes the opportunity for their employees to practice new skills and get confident in them. That is worth gold because you can hand them a PDF that says this is lower your expectations, folks. I mean, what does that even mean? And then to experience, oh my gosh, I did that what I think is a 5 and it showed up as a 9, which is plenty. And I didn't have to put in this excruciating effort that I thought I would, where I was keeping myself up at night and wanted to vomit. A 5 was really easy for me to do. And so then you, like you said, do it again and you throw yourself into situations where you can do more of it.
yeah. And then if you're doing it the way that we teach is with a group of people. So your peers and your colleagues get to see the transformation and get to see that like, oh, that was amazing. And they said they were just doing a 5. Let me try a 5 now.
Yes.
And then everybody gets this momentum going and this excitement.
Love it. So that was number one, lowering the bar. Number two is stretching your comfort zones. So comfort zones are a really interesting thing. A lot of people think you're kind of born with your comfort zone, or you don't think about them at all, maybe. But you have this comfort zone, and the zone is this. And if you go above it, it's called hyper reactivity or something. And then there's hypo reactivity. And what that means is you have this space, and if it's happening in the space, you're good. And then if you touch the ceiling, hyper means you freak out. You have too much energy. You can't stay in your body. You black out. You can't ever remember. You're this person.
Yeah.
And then
Start
if you,
fights.
what did you say?
Start fights.
Sarah starts fights, by the way. And then if you go the other direction, it's called hypo. You freeze up, you panic, you can't feel feelings. You are basically a robot without a battery. And so,
I was just thinking, we did this, we did it for a magazine company, and we did a session, and there was this guy that as soon as he found out it was improv, we were all standing in a circle and you could just see him, like it was first the arms and then he just kept
Oh,
moving backwards. And then he had the curtain and then there was a curtain, like there was like a big window pane and he was like,
yeah.
and he wasn't doing it like it was hilarious to watch, but he was like, he didn't even realize what was happening. We're like, hey, Bill, you in a curtain? And he was like, well, what do you mean? My body just reacts this way.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we are all, again, wired this way, which is kind of the comfort is when we hit our comfort zones max, but they're elastic. So we
Yeah.
think we're born this way and this is how it is. But if you think of what used to scare you when you were 6, going in the basement, you don't get, I mean, if you do, we're not judging you. But if you get scared now going into the basement, I doubt it, but that's something that you've learned. So experience of the thing that used to scare you, not scaring you. The thing that you thought was going to kill you doesn't kill you. Experiencing that gives you such a lovely comfort zone. Sarah and I have been in so many situations where we walk in the room and they said something was not going to be in the room and it's right in the middle of the room, or it was going to go a certain way and it's going to start 2 hours later than we had thought. And because our comfort zones are so nice and stretched, it's like, okay, we'll make it work.
Yeah. We'll improvise.
We'll improvise. And so this
Bill
kind
did survive that
yes, Bill
session,
did.
and he came out thriving, and he got a tattoo of improv on his shoulder.
So we're just showing, I think, over and over again what the practicing part of some of these insights that people are getting is really helpful. So the third one is, okay, let's say that you can't lower the bar all the time. It's improving your capabilities. Uh, do reps, practice. One of the things he says is, okay, let's say you really tanked on a presentation. How much time did you actually spend? Did you ask anyone to watch you? There's things like that that you can for sure practice doing. Why that's important is it's baby steps towards giving yourself an experience of victory.
And it's also in the pedagogy that we use and how we teach our sessions is you don't go, we're not like, hey, everybody, we're going to do improv. 3 of you get up and do a scene. That would be a nightmare. We start small. We show you that you can do something. You do a small task and then you do a harder exercise and then you incorporate some things together and you keep building and building. And what we really want from you is for you to be able to trust yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're going to trust that you did the small thing, and then you're going to trust that you did the next big thing, and then you're going to trust that you did the bigger thing. And you can now prove to yourself that because you can do all of these, yeah, you can take another little step. And it really makes you very reliant on yourself and it makes you very resilient. So
Yeah.
making sure that you're getting your laps in. Do runners?
Oh, the
Sure
running
they do.
reference. Nice.
Is really, really helpful. And the great thing about the sessions that we do, or we have you for a period of time, or even a series, we come into your office and do, a 4-part series that you get to see yourself practicing and achieving over and over again really helps you build your confidence.
Completely, completely. And the tasks that we're talking about are not scale a wall or blindfold fall into a group of people you've never met. It's nothing like that. It's like play an alphabet game. Tell a story one word at a time. The magic of improv and its roots are really in the exercise or the drill is not the point. There's a muscle that you have to highlight, or there's an insight that comes from doing the exercise. So the exercises are fun and they're easy and they're collective, and doing it well isn't really even the point. It is like a little secret hiding way, like a Trojan horse, except Trojan horses would kill you, but this is a fun Trojan horse.
Yeah, the fun kind.
The fun Trojan horse that they didn't write about in history. But it's a fun Trojan horse, and you go, oh, that's why we did it. Look at this thing that I just learned. So even task is almost not even a fair enough word.
Yeah. And it's also the everything that we do in an improv session, you are doing something in front of people. You're all doing it together. So everybody is playing. We're not going to make somebody get up and be like, Bill, get up and tell a joke to everybody.
Right.
It's not that, but it is you are being seen.
Mhm.
and you know that you're being seen. So it does give you the muscle of like walking into the room, getting up on the stage, saying your idea in front on a Zoom meeting, like you're practicing in real time. You're just not using the work things that you have to do at work. We give you
Yeah,
other mechanisms in which you get
that's
to
right.
practice.
Totally, totally. All right. And our last one of the similarities between what Steve Magnus was saying and what we do is that there's a focus on, well, who is the person that's going to give the presentation? And you're like I said, it was me. And we say, oh no, friend, we don't mean that literally. We mean, what version of you is showing up to give the presentation? What version of you is going for the interview? All these types of things. There is a version that is shut down, afraid of making a mistake, did it bad last time, didn't get the last job, is afraid that they're not going to get this job. You don't want that person showing up for the next interview, but we're wired to do that. And the book goes into that a lot more. But what we have seen is that in improv immediately shifts people into a different state. We call it the improv mindset. An improv mindset is a really optimized, high functioning mindset. It keeps you present, it keeps you curious, it keeps you you're confident not because you fake a confidence, you're confident because you know what's the worst that's going to happen. I can
Yeah.
handle anything.
Your emotional intelligence is heightened. You recognize other people in the room. You recognize what their opinion is. You make them feel heard. Your
That's right.
collaboration energy is higher. People love to hang out with improvisers. I don't know if you guys have any improvisers friends out there, audience, but we are so fun on vacation. We are always up for anything new. We'll go anywhere. We just say, yep,
Give it a try.
give it a try.
Yeah. So it's accessing the person. I think he uses an example in the book of a drummer, Taylor Swift's drummer, and he wanted to find out. I mean, you're on tour, you're a phenomenal drummer, the pressure couldn't be higher. How do you get ready for a gig? And the drummer's like, well, what I don't do is practice drumming because I already know how to do that. What I do is get myself into the state that I need to perform at my best. And that's different for each person, but he's really honoring the fact that there is a state, there's a version of him that's really high functioning. So taking an improv workshop can really help you um, find your recipe to get to that high state. Maybe lowering the bar is all you ever need to do. Oh, the only thing that gets me into a bad place is when I get that bar real high. If I remember that, I'm great. And usually it's only two or three things you need to do, but it's nice to figure that out and experience the results of doing it.
Yeah. And I think one thing that is kind of cool about the improv that we come from is Holly was a groundling out in LA, and was a director there and did all these things. And the thing that's particular about the groundlings is a character improv stance, which for our necessities now are it's not about what the circumstances are that the people are going through, it's about who the person is and what their opinion is of it. So
That's right.
that's why you're going to see like Will Ferrell has that kind of mentality as an actor, Kristen Wiig, um, Lisa Kudrow, all of these people that were like very, you could like pick them up and put them next to you on a plane and they are going to have an opinion about it and it's going to be very interesting. And that's kind of a cool way to go into these sessions too, is like knowing that all you need is you.
Yes.
We don't need to worry about the circumstances. The sky can be falling. You can do your presentation on a boat. Doesn't matter. You are the thing that has it. And we're just going
Yeah.
to help you unlock what it is about you that can do your best.
I love that. I love that you mentioned that because what I learned from studying at the Groundlings was there was a version of me that was very hesitant, and that was like my Midwest self. And I showed up to these classes and I was getting to stretch who I was. I got to play angry and bossy and da 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 da. And all of a sudden I felt like who Holly was bigger and could do more. And I had more options in there. And so there's a confident speaker in there, in everyone. And so getting to find it and believe in it and realize that you don't have to kind of build a bear. If I do this with my voice, my hand, and do this, I can sound like a speaker. If that works for you, great. I haven't found too many people that it does. Or you tap into the part of yourself that is already that and you just practice being that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh,
and
oh,
who doesn't want that?
we could go on
And
and
we
we will.
will.
but not right now.
But not right now.
So if this interests you or someone you know, you want to hear more, we're available. We're literally just sitting here waiting for you to email us. We're not going to move.
No. I just got one.
Get to it. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for watching.